Good afternoon. I'm Jan Caldwell. I'm the Public Affairs Officer for the San Diego County Sheriff's Department. We're going to host a news conference here, and first up on the speakers list will be Brett Anderson. He will read a statement. He will not take any questions. Please respect that. After that, Sheriff Gore will be speaking, and then FBI Assistant Special Agent in Charge Rob Howe will make a statement. I'd like to introduce Brett Anderson.
Thank you, and thank you all for coming. I would first like to thank all of the branches of the law enforcement involved in their quick actions and professionalism in all aspects of this investigation. I would also like to thank Mary and Mike Young, Mark and Krista John, for without you, who knows how long this would have gone on. My family and I are eternally grateful. As a family, we offer a special thank you to our local sheriff department and the individuals from them and the FBI who have been by our families from the beginning for their tireless efforts. I want to thank all who spread the word, shared their hearts and thoughts through social media across the country. Because of you, this reached across and beyond the U.S. Have no doubt that this did make a difference. Though relentless, I would also like to thank you, the media. All of your coverage keeping the issue alive and helped with bringing my daughter home. As a country, there are many missing children, and though some of you might find the Amber Alert annoying, please pay attention, keep your eyes open. Let's bring those children home. No one should have to go through this. Now, it's time for us to grieve and move on to the healing process. I respectfully ask you to give me, all of our family, and our friends the respect and time to allow this to happen. As for my daughter, the healing process will be slow. She has been through a tremendous, horrific ordeal. I am very proud of her, and I love her very much. She is surrounded by the love of her family, friends, and community. Again, please, as a family, give us our time to heal and grieve. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Bill Gore. I want to thank you all for being here and add my thanks to those of Brett's for your outstanding coverage of this terrible abduction and crime. It's clear that had it not been for the media coverage, that the hikers up in Idaho would have never known that the two people they saw along the trail were Hannah and DiMaggio. I want to emphasize that during the law enforcement interviews with Hannah, it became very clear to us, very clear, that she is a victim in every sense of the word in this horrific crime. From the time of her abduction in Boulevard to her recovery in Idaho by the FBI's hostage rescue team, she was under extreme duress. It was also during the interview with Hannah after her recovery up in Idaho that she was first told about the deaths of her mother and her little brother. Also during the interview with Hannah, she revealed that DiMaggio had a rifle and that he fired at least one round prior to being shot and killed by the FBI hostage team rifleman. This investigation continues. We'll be conducting more interviews. We'll be reviewing the crime scene results from the Boulevard fires, from the car recovered in Idaho, and from the campsite at Lake Moorhead. We're continuing this investigation so that we can answer all the possible questions that result from this type of a horrific crime. Our primary concern, however, is for the well-being of Hannah Anderson and her family. As Brett has stated already, they've experienced a horrific ordeal and tragic loss. We would appreciate your help in giving them that time to heal and to grieve. Thank you very much. Now I'll turn it over to Assistant Special Agent in Charge Rob Howe from the FBI, who'll make a few brief comments, and then we'll answer a few questions, as many as we can, before ending. Go ahead, Rob.
Thank you, Sheriff. On behalf of the FBI family, let me just say that we offer our condolences and our deepest sympathies to the Anderson family for the tragedy they have endured and suffered this last week. We also echo the sheriff and Mr. Anderson's statements that they need the time to grieve and to get back to a somewhat normal lifestyle without most of the interruptions that we are now presented to them. And I would also like to say that the FBI very much appreciates the law enforcement partnerships that we have throughout the country, not just here in San Diego, but it's the partnerships that we enjoy here with the San Diego Sheriff's Department that allow us to bring our resources to bear whenever state, local, and regional resources aren't enough. We're very proud of the relationship that we have here. We're very happy that we were able to bring this to the ending that we did. Thank you.
Let me just add that the FBI is our normal procedure is conducting a shooting investigation up in Idaho, and so there won't be any real details coming out of exactly what happened in the confrontation. And I'm sure when their investigation is complete, those results will be released. I want to echo also what Rob said about the type of relationships and the type of investigative work that was done here. It's something that you rarely see, I think, on this level, where you have federal, and that's not just the FBI, but the U.S. Marshal Service, Customs and Border Protection, the Idaho State Police, the California Highway Patrol, the Sheriff's Department in Valley County and Ada County in Idaho, and then the Fugitive Task Force specifically here in San Diego County that left no stone unturned in trying to find DiMaggio and Hannah and bring them back. So with that, I will take.
During Hannah's captivity, can you tell us some of the things that went on over those days?
No, we're not going to discuss that out of respect for Hannah's privacy and her need to heal and get through this tragedy.
Can you tell us how she's doing today and where she is?
Yeah, she's Hannah is back in San Diego. She's with family members, and she's doing as well as can be expected after the terrible ordeal she's been through.
Did Hannah ever try to escape?
No, we're not. I'm not going to discuss any motive or any of the specifics. We're still the investigation is still ongoing, and we have people interview, crime scenes, the result to examine, and evidence to be reviewed that we recovered in the car up in Idaho and from the crime scene at Lake Moorhead.
Sure. Did Hannah ever try to escape? Did Hannah ever try to escape?
I'm not going to go into any details about that.
Did you know she was a hospital?
No, she was. I can't make it any clearer. She was a victim in this case. She was not a willing participant, and she was under extreme duress from the time she left Boulevard till the time she was recovered at Lake Moorhead, Idaho.
Was there anything leading you to Idaho besides those horseback rides? In other words, was the investigation going that direction anyway? You found something else, or was that?
No, I mean the report from the 4 hikers on horseback in Idaho was the key event that took us in that area, led us to the discovery of the vehicle, and then the subsequent discovery of them camping by Lake Moorhead. As reported by the two couples that saw them along the trail, they had backpacks, they had supplies they took in with them, although the people from Idaho thought they were not really prepared for the wilderness they were in up there in Idaho.
Can you verify the timeline? How was Hannah unaware that the rest of her family had been killed?
You have to look at the size of the complex in Boulevard. There are several buildings up there, and she was unaware of what happened, that her mother and her brother had been killed.
Who explained to Hannah what happened to her family?
The FBI interviewer forensic interviewer in Idaho did the interview with her and explained to her and revealed to her about her mother and brother's death. I'm not going to go into any type of details on that, but she was under duress the whole time.
Do we have a time in Idaho when the Amber Alert went out up there?
The Amber Alert had not been put out in Idaho until after the 4 campers up there came across them on the trail. Subsequent to that, I think that would have been Thursday, was the Amber Alert was finally was released in Idaho. We'd done it in California, Oregon, and Washington, up into British Columbia, but not into Idaho. We're still in the process of putting all that investigative material together.
A little bit more on the takedown. Can you give us a sense if DiMaggio was trying to booby trap the campsite, and how many agents returned fire and with what?
No, I don't have the results of the crime scene investigation in Idaho that's being done probably still as we speak. So I do know from the interview of Hannah, he did have a rifle and he fired at least one shot. Beyond that, that'll come out in the FBI's shooting team investigation they're doing up there.
Sheriff Lord, does that mean because she reported that he fired off one shot, does that mean she was with him when he was shot?
Yeah, she was in the close proximity to DiMaggio when he was shot and killed.
How close do you know?
I don't know.
Was the rifle fired at the time of the confrontation with the FBI, or was
Yeah,
it
the
fired
time, the proximate time, at least one shot was fired, possibly a second, and he was shot and killed shortly thereafter. As far as we know, that DiMaggio fired his weapon first.
Was it a direct trip to Idaho, or do you think he stopped somewhere?
I don't know. I don't know.
What about the cat? Supposedly there was a gray cat with them that the horseback riders saw.
Yes, that was his cat.
Okay, so
Great question.
and did you recover the cat?
I don't know.
Can you tell us anything about the two people who were killed as far as do we know now how they were killed?
We're not ready to release the results of that yet.
Based on the supplies at the camp, how long were they prepared to stay out there?
I don't have that information. I'm sorry.
He said apparently at the end, I guess mom was something like that.
We've had that reported to us, what she supposedly said under her breath as the four hikers drove off. I don't know, and I'm not sure we know what she meant by that. If she was asked that specifically, I haven't heard those results.
Sheriff, was she sexually assaulted?
I'm not going to discuss any details of her abduction beyond the fact that she was under extreme duress.
Do you think DiMaggio was headed to Canada?
I'm sorry?
Do you think DiMaggio was headed to Canada?
I don't know.
You don't know where his.
No. He was familiar with that area of the country and had been up there. He had, so,
Canada?
no, in Idaho. So.
Can you tell us why you believe it was planned? What kind of, do we know that the killings were premeditated? What do we know? How do you
I didn't say it was planned. I think that will come out as we do more investigation. We don't think this was a spur of the moment thing, but I'm not prepared to go into details of why we believe that.
Sheriff, Francine Dennis spent a lot of time with DiMaggio. Was she there initially willingly before she was taken by force?
Yeah, as has been reported extensively in the media, she was not a stranger to his house. A lot of people would go over there, so for her to go to that residence was not unusual, and it was after she arrived there that some of these horrific crimes took place.
Was she there when the fire started? Under surveillance once he was reported in that area.
It's a matter of hours from the time they thought they saw the tent from some aerial surveillance till FBI teams were inserted into the area and made their way towards the campsite.
Did Hannah witness the fire?
I'm sorry?
Hannah witness the fire in Boulevard?
No.
What can you tell us about the murder scene, the fire, cause of death?
Not prepared to talk about that yet. I'm sorry.
Can you tell us at all if the mother ever confronted the suspect at any point about concerns about her daughter?
Her mother? We can't tell you that. Don't know.
Did DiMaggio leave any notes or emails talking about or suggesting?
Not that I'm aware of.
Has
Okay.
his father at all
Okay.
involved in your
Right.
investigation?
Excuse-
Are you looking at past incidents with DiMaggio's father? Possible
We're doing a lot of investigation remains to be done. A lot of people to interview, comparing what we learn in interviews with results of crime scene investigations and searches of cars up in the Idaho area. So we have a long way to go yet on this to determine exactly a timeline, what happened, why it happened as best we can. But we might never know some of these answers. I think that's important to realize now. When you get a completely irrational act like we've seen here with the two murders and the kidnapping, sometimes you're not going to be able to come up with a rational explanation of what happened. So, go ahead.
It's been a
Last
long
one.
week. Can you characterize the mood of your department following this long ordeal?
Well, I think everybody's gratified that we've obviously got Hannah back alive. We're sad for the loss of Christina and Ethan. It's a tragedy. But as far as Hannah being recovered, that was a good day for law enforcement all over the country. So, and I thank you again, the media, for all your help in helping us locate her. With that, I will last.
Any connection to DiMaggio in Idaho? Any reason why he decided that's where he wanted to go?
I don't know.
Do you
So,
know if Hannah will stay in the San Diego area once she moves?
I have no idea.
Is there any information you can share with us about his father's case that's been reported
No. No. Okay.
What glitches were discovered in the Amber Alert system? Anything about multiple alerts? Are there things that you learned from this that you'll be able to use in future cases?
I think there will be ways that, when any new technology, there are always ways to improve it. I think it worked. One of the things I'm aware of from my own alert that I got on my iPhone is that the alert pops up, and then after you've read it, it's gone, so you can't just go back in like you would a text message and look at it again to determine what that license number was if you'd see the car. And I think those are some of the things they're working on to make it retrievable in your iPhone or your smartphone, so that if you think you see something, you can refresh your memory of what you saw. With that, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it.